Thank you for coming to Beers with Baelnorn. We're talking about Burnout. The beer choice this time is Paulaner Salvatore. It's a double bock. I've actually never had this, and Paulaner makes my favorite beer, the Hefeweizen. So I'm excited to try this because I also like double bock. Usually I get the Optimator by Spaten, but I haven't seen that for sale for quite a while. So it's a darker beer, but it's not like a stout. Yep, it's good. Not surprised. Sweet, little bit of bitterness, but pretty full bodied, malty, very malty. Yeah, good beer. So if you have any questions about Burnout while I'm talking, or any other questions about Amcard while I'm talking, go ahead, put it in chat, or you can, if you're watching this on YouTube, put it in the comment section, and I'll get to it as soon as possible. If it's in chat, then I will probably interrupt what I'm saying to discuss the question, because this is a AMA. It's not just like a lecture series. So I just usually have a topic that I talk about. So in Amcard, it's not just a game. There's also elements of work involved. So running the game, such as the volunteers who run the games or run the events or run the organization. All those are actual jobs, and they can be fun, but they're also work. So at some point, it's possible that you'll get burned out. So a fun, oh, sorry, it turns into like a fun experience, and then it can like turn into an like unfulfilling headache, and that's kind of like a symptom of burnout. So keep aware of that. You need to recognize the symptoms of burnout, identify the cause, and then you take action, and that's kind of what the outline for this chat is going to be about. So I have a list of symptoms associated with burnout. Now you could have some of these symptoms, you could have a lot of the symptoms, or you could have just a few of the symptoms. But here are some of the symptoms of burnout that you need to watch for when you're doing long-term service in Amp or just in life, really. It doesn't just apply to Amp obviously. So like a generally pervasive negative attitude, often paired with the feeling that nothing is going to work out. So I've experienced this in burnout where I've been planning an event. Well, let's specifically talk about when I was king, because that was my first really big burnout episode back in 2010. And I didn't have a negative attitude exactly. Like, I told myself I had a lot of self doubt because of it, and I figured nothing was going to work out because there'd be hiccups along the way and just a lot of things that I didn't expect. And so my plans would not necessarily work out, and I'd have to think of something to fly. And so I would always have a lot of self doubt. Inability to concentrate is another one. I have other learning disabilities that make me unable to concentrate. So that wasn't a symptom of burnout for me. It's just something I have to deal with throughout life. Another one is a general apathy towards your work, chores, and other tasks. Feelings of stagnation, lack of interest in social activities and being with others. Like if going to AmpGuard and doing the work is no longer fun and you don't want to be around people and do the social activities, then you might have burnout and you might need to reevaluate what you've been doing and make some changes. And difficulty with healthy habits like exercise, diet, and regular sleep. Burnout can really interfere with your life, and you need to keep an eye on that because your health can deteriorate when it's not good. Feeling like you're never doing enough. So just feelings that stuff isn't going right. Well, not necessarily not going right, but that no matter what you do, it's never going to be enough. Neglecting your own needs and putting the needs of others ahead of your own. Personal values, belief lose their importance. Short temper. I definitely got a short temper from my burnout situation. I held together publicly pretty well, but at home and stuff like that, I would have a shorter temper, and people would notice that. Constant exhaustion, feelings of inefficiency, feelings of detachment from people and things that you care about. That was a big one for me. Just I stopped caring about the game, like having deep feelings of caring. I still cognitively understood that I should care, but I didn't feel like it was a driving force anymore. Frequent boredom, psychosomatic complaints such as headaches, lingering colds, and other issues which with a cause that's difficult to identify. And then just denying all the feelings that you have of burnout can be a sign of burnout. Now, a lot of these signs are can be confused with depression. So there are a lot of overlap with depression and burnout, but depression is a disorder of your mood or state of mind. Burnout is a reaction to exposure to severe stress in your environment, how you feel. Depression also has certain symptoms that burnout usually doesn't exhibit, including low self esteem, feelings of hopelessness, and suicidal thoughts. So that would be the main differentiating factor between depression and burnout. I suffer from depression on a fairly constant basis, and I have since high school. So sometimes it's hard for me to differentiate between depression and burnout. But I definitely, in 2010, when I was king, I had burnout rather than depression because I didn't have those like emotional symptoms that depression exhibits at that time. I was actually doing pretty well with my depression. It's often, if you're unsure if you're having burnout or not, it's really important to ask others to help identify if you have a problem or not. So friends usually are able to see past um, your own self-image. So having an outside perspective will allow you to better judge how you're feeling. So if you're unsure about how your life is going, maybe it's important to see if your friends have noticed any changes in your habits. If you are having burnout, it's important to determine the source of the burnout. Like when did it start? What activity caused it? And going back to my example, it started probably about halfway through my term as king, and it was during winter term. So it was probably around January, February. And well, that's when I identified it. It probably started in December. What activity caused it? It was the stress of having to deal with conflict management mostly. The actual duty of being monarch has a lot of untold expectations, and being a conflict resolution specialist was one of them. I had to deal with a lot of interpersonal conflicts, especially up in the northern area, but all over. And that just it took a lot of emotional energy, and that's where I started to start having the symptoms of burnout. And so, what activity caused it? It was the activity of um, having to be the personal like mediator for a whole community. Once you have identified the source of the burnout, you need to make changes. Um, one thing you can do is you change up your routine. Um, finish your like for me, the principle is finish what you're doing if you're in office, but do it to the best of your ability. But after you finish what you're doing in office, you change your routine by just stepping back and what I did was I stepped back, I reevaluated what I found fun in Amp and there's a couple things that I enjoyed in Amp one is the fighting. I also really enjoyed the volunteering aspect, specifically cooking food and running events. And then I also enjoyed being in charge and helping the park or the kingdom stay organized and on track. So being in office. But what caused the burnout was being in office. It was no longer fun. So I had to see if there was still something in Amcor that I would find fun. Let's see. Kate Quarrel says, remembering how to enjoy the game for the sake of the game was the best part of stepping down from office. Yes, that is very true. And that's what I was about to say. Actually, I went back to cooking and doing feasts. That was really my first big joy because I always did it at the local park when we started our park, doing little barbecues here and there, and then I started doing kingdom feasts, and I got a lot of satisfaction from executing a feast in a proper manner, and so I decided to step back into that role, and I had a good time doing that, and it helped. I also started playing the game a bit more after taking a break. Um, that's another thing you can do to change your routine, especially in Amp is go ahead and take a step back and rest. Like if for your example, you have burnout in the job, going and taking another job or taking a vacation and then coming back to the job and changing your routine that way. So that's kind of the same thing as stepping back and not doing the activity that caused the burnout. So a vacation of sorts. And then I also started playing the game again after I came back. I only took like a 6-7 month hiatus. I've very rarely stopped coming out to the park for an extended for more than that time. I think that was my longest break in the last 20 years. Another thing you can do is you can exercise, release some of those endorphins. You don't have to go to the gym, work out for 30 minutes. Take small steps. Do a couple push-ups, do some stretches at home. Go for a walk. You don't have to do a lot. Just start making those changes and make healthy improvements. Same thing for your diet. One thing that happens with burnout, you can stop caring about what you eat. You just eat what you have and just kind of eat poor meals, and that just further deteriorates your body and makes it hard to recover from burnout. So slowly improving your diet is very beneficial. Um, if you can, improve your sleep routine. Like I said, if you need to take a vacation or get back on your sleep routine, a lot of the problems of burnout is exhaustion. So the answer to exhaustion is sleep. And really, you need to be patient because coming back from burnout isn't an instantaneous thing. It can take a while, and truth be told, it's possible that the enjoyment that you had from the activity may never come back to the degree that you had it before. And that's a shame, but it's an honest truth. But you can still get over burnout and still find fun in the game, just maybe not in the area that you were participating in. Is there any questions or anything? Comments? To be honest, identifying burnout in your officers is very important. So if you're watching someone, oh, make sure you're here for the record. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot your Twitch name. This is an important note. Sometimes burnout is temporary, and sometimes it's permanent. Yes, and that's okay. Um, like I'll be honest. I don't usually tell people about this, but um, I not sure I will ever take Monarch again. I might, but I still haven't really overcame that. Of course, I'm also dealing with depression, so that doesn't help. But I had a very hard experience or difficult experience coming out of after Monarch and doing other offices. I'll do them. I've done Regent since then at the park level, Kingdom level, and I enjoyed that. And I would almost certainly do that again. But yeah, sometimes it's permanent and sometimes it's temporary. And it's important to, from the outside, for someone that is not volunteering to the level of some of the other people, it's important to keep an eye out on them because you might be able the one that can help spot them when they have burnout, when they start slacking and stuff like that, and to help them overcome that and help them realize that. I know when some of the younger people get really gung ho and they start going full out and dedicating themselves really hard. I like seeing that, but that kind of drive can lead to burnout, and then we don't have those people in office anymore. So I always urge people that are very gung ho and very energetic and outgoing in office to like moderate themselves a little bit and be aware of the situation that they're putting themselves into so they can better protect themselves. And then I keep an eye on them to make sure that if they get to that point, they have someone there to tell them that, you need to step back and take care of yourself a little bit because it's important to make sure that the health of the person you are is important. When you start with high energy, you feel like you need to keep the energy at that level. Be more reasonable with yourself. Yes, it's very true. I'm never a very high level person. Some of you may know that, but I try to keep it, moderate my energy so I don't put myself too much into an effort, and I um, spread myself out so it's not spread out too thin. So there's a nice thick layer, I guess. If we use that analogy. I don't know where I was going with that. I mean, that is burnout, and I apologize. That was shorter than I thought it would be. But if anyone has any questions about burnout and how to overcome it, um, I'd be happy to answer them and have a conversation about that. It's why we have this stream. Oh, something I noticed during COVID and something I wanted to talk about. Time to just drink and ramble? Yeah, I can try that. I'm not a very good rambler, though. Burnout and how to deal with it can tend to come into more conversational one on one. That's very true because, as I mentioned earlier, it's different. The symptoms are different for everyone. And how you overcome it is similar, but if you need to, like, as if everyone's different, then everyone has a different, like, need. And so trying to overcome it is tailored to the individual person. So yes, it's definitely a lot easier to have a one-on-one conversation with someone to help identify the problem and work through it. So this is more like a how-to guide to work yourself through it than actually an individually conference session, I guess, that you would normally have. But yeah, I can drink and ramble. Try that. My burnout, Mitra says, my burnout, it hit halfway through my second reign. I think that was pretty clear. If I don't have the support of my Prince Regent, I wouldn't have made it. I have a good support system around you. Yes. I mean, it was noticeable. We've had that conversation, and you had a good support network, and it's important to build a good support network. I am honestly pretty terrible at that. If I didn't have Vincent, who I think actually might be in the chat but isn't listening, Hawkfeather13. Let's see if he's in here. I probably shouldn't be calling him out, and I apologize for that. But if it wasn't for him, a lot of the time when I was cooking, I'm not sure how well I would have done. I probably would have still pulled through, but it would have been a lot harder, and I would have made a lot more mistakes along the way. So he was my support network for 10, 15 years in the kitchen. So if you can build a good support network, it will help combat burnout for sure, and it'll help you once you actually have burnout. Because it's unless you're careful, it's probably going to happen if you're one of those people that are constantly in office and constantly working for the club. There'll be a time when you have to reevaluate the energy that you put into the club for your own health. That I'm not saying that it will always happen for everyone, but just through my experiences in the last 20 years, um, yes, as Beta Wolf says, it feels inevitable. And so trying to build up that support network. I'm better at it now. I have a couple people. I have a yeah, it's like Thanos. I have a household that service household I started to make sure I had more people to lean on, um, and to support the club. It's not just about me. Yes, gravy, house gravy. Yes, it is are exhausting constantly giving. I constantly take long breaks because I am doing my service that I've been doing in the last couple of years has been event running, so I have a lot of time in between the actual event where I'm on the ground and the planning stages. So it's a lot easier, and because it's a lot less constant. It's more like bursts, and I can deal with that better. Um, yeah. So I'm lucky in the fact that my current activity is it's not constantly giving. It's just comes in spurts. But stuff like an office, um, it can be very constant, very exhausting because you're giving all your time. It's not just at the park. You're answering questions, quelling problems. It's exhausting just thinking about it. Honestly, um, yeah. But I was going back to COVID. Something I want to talk about was the videos. A lot of people in at least our area in the Northwest were putting out tons and tons of videos for the first, I don't know, 3 weeks, like planning whole days of just video streams. And then people got burnt out. Um, that was the over exuberance. And I love the content and I wish we could have kept it going. But it was just too much, too fast. People got burnt out. And honestly, it's harder to pay attention to LARP right now. Yeah, a lot of land pages are pretty much dead. Silver Moon, we don't talk too much, but like every Saturday, people do sign in, and we get a lot of sign in. I'm not on too many land pages that I pay attention to, but there's definitely a lot less chatter, and that's probably why I don't see those land pages pop up as much. So, like this whole pandemic has just caused a lot of people a lot of burnout, and probably experiencing it for the first time because at least in one of our parks in Blackspire here in Oregon, Dusk Hollow was putting out lots of videos for a couple weeks, and they're newer players that are just at the point where they'd get really into volunteering and stuff like that. The first couple of years of them being out here, and this is the first time where they really had to push themselves, or where they pushed themselves, and I think it caused a lot of burnout, and that's why the video stopped. Um, I took a different approach, and I'm trying to do videos on a constant but far less frequent schedule than what the land levels are trying, and that's what's kept me um, involved with my video chats. Is anyone else joining me in drinks by chance? This is kind of showing what I hate about winter rains. Because COVID that caused winter rain times a million. Yeah, winter rains can be hard, and this is definitely winter rains in a million. Because it's really hard when you can't go out there and do the social aspect on the field where you're actually playing the game and not just talking about the game. Yeah, it's definitely has similarities. It's all online. It's a slog, just trying to keep people interested. Summers are busy, but there are a few exciting things, and then just maintenance. Yeah, especially campouts. Those are huge. We got we had a lot of campouts that I was really looking forward to this summer and this spring, and yeah, and just those fun things aren't there anymore to keep you entertained, and it's just not not great. But doing these, I actually like the. Or I feel when there's engagement, I feel a little bit more connected, and so I like doing them. And because it gets me to talk and think about the game again and talk with people I don't always get to talk with on a regular basis, like Mitria. Let's see, events that I missed out on. I was going to be running Pack War. We're going to have Olympiad. Really wanted that. That would have been fun, and it was a really nice site. Uh, for non-Amcard LARP, there was Western Wars. It was going to be at the Oregon 4-H Center, so close to my house. So then that's Belgarth, and that I was looking forward to. I always look forward to that. I try to go as much as I can. Mitra says, "I am so sad we missed Pack War. I was so excited to serve with that. Yeah, it would have been great. Um, Sadly, I was unable to put in a bid just because of where I'm at. Yeah, I had plans too. I was going to go to Eastern Washington for Sword Night Boot Camp. Like that's a rare thing to be able to get to go to. So I was looking forward to that. Hopefully they will be back in the area again soon when we can have events. And then I will get to go. But it sucks. And then my other event, Shattered Kingdoms, got canceled. That was looking forward to running that, and I was looking forward to Northern Lights spring mid range or coronation, and because that's like my vacation for Amcard, because it's the event that I go to, and while I'm willing to volunteer, I kind of don't. I kind of prefer not to unless they really need someone because it's where I get to hang out with a bunch of friends that I don't get to see very often up in Washington and just drink, talk, play the game, and not have to work. It is my Amcard vacation, and I was sad that I didn't get to have that this year because most of the other events I'm doing something honestly. At least I have been in the last couple of years. What events have you missed? I know Misha was looking forward to Pack War. Is anyone else really looking forward to a specific event or an activity they had to miss out on? I think you missed them all. Yeah, I do miss going out on weekly basis, hanging out with my local friends at the park. I'd like to say I'm tearing up, but honestly, it's just sweat rolling to my eyes because it's really really hot in this room. There's no AC in this room. It's only in the other end of the apartment. Grumpiest Gus is same as you, really. Watching Wars and SKBC. Yep, those were my two big fighting events. Well, Western Wars I just party at. But SKBC I would definitely have fought at. And like my fighting like inspiration came back when COVID hit, just about that same time. So it was really inconvenient for me. I was really looking forward to those fighting events. Hmm. Oh, news. As I mentioned earlier, I got an affiliate status with Twitch. What that means is that now people can buy subscriptions, they can buy bits, they can spend the bits on things in the channel. I think I also introduced chat points. Yeah, channel points that you get for chatting, and then you can spend those on in chat things. Matriuses, I was mostly looking forward to Pack War and Shattered Kingdoms. SK is my favorite event down in Blackspire. Thank you. I always like hearing that, and I've always appreciated your support and Vaughn's. I've appreciated everyone's support, honestly. The people that have gone mostly have been very positive and very supportive, and I have a dedicated like group of people that try to come every year, and you're part of that. But Saturday I'm doing another stream. It's going to be Amp Card adjacent. It's kind of like a celebration for becoming an affiliate. I'm going to have a couple Amp Carders on stream with me, chatting and stuff like that. Darius is going to be there. Gwen and Trevor are going to be, or Miss are going to be there. Trying to find someone else that wants to come on stream, drink, and chat. I'm trying to get, a couple people. And then it's just going to be doing silly things, drinking, talking, and I'm going to be shotgunning beers, well, chugging beers for subscriptions, and I think I will take a disgusting gulp of a warm malt liquor if people spend bits. Oh, well, you can still come and hang out. You don't have to drink. It's just like a social event. It's like an online get together. And I'll be the one that's drinking. You can force me to drink more. So that's the fun of it. I mean, those are the only two ideas I have to get people to spend their money, I guess, and support me. But yeah, I'm up to other ideas. But then the main goal is the celebration of a milestone and my streaming. Well, one beer down. How long ago did you quit drinking? I need to get a new bottle opener. Oh, that was a little while ago. I didn't know you'd quit. You probably told me and I forgot. Sorry. Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, you're making a life change for you. You're not making it for other people, so you don't need to. I don't understand not just going out and making a big deal about it. It's kind of disappointing that Winter Bash is probably going to be a online event, but I'm still looking forward to the online event because we have a lot of really good ideas coming out for that. Um, Sir Uriel is heading that up. I'm just doing the A&S aspect, so I'm going to try to organize some online classes and based on contests, stuff like that. But we have a big thing or a pretty big plan going on. So I'm looking forward to Sir Uriel being able to announce that. I think one of the hardest thing is just not knowing when is the next time we're going to be able to come out. Grumpy Gus says Chaos Wars was an online only event like a month ago, and you should take a look at what they put out if you haven't already. I haven't looked at what they put out after the fact. I looked at their when they announced it and all the content they had. They had a lot of good content. I think they use Zoom a lot. I think we'll be using Discord and Twitch. But yeah, they had a lot of classes stuff, and it's probably a good idea to go back and look at that. Oh, apparently my bot stops links. I need to turn that off. I don't know why he has that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to moderate you. KS Wars on Discord. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll look into fixing that bot before my next stream. That's silly. Yeah, see, I didn't know they use a Discord, so that's good to know. That's another event I wanted to go to at some point. I just wish that there was a hotel near it, because I don't think there is. I could be wrong. I also kind of want to go to Battle for the Ring. Well, that's a little bit further, though, I think, down in California. They have hotels near the field, I think. Oh, Chaos Wars does have cabins on site, but not very many. Okay, well, that's good to keep in mind. Yeah, I've heard good things about both, so that's kind of why I want to try them. Plus, they're huge, and I haven't really been to huge events. I mean, the most I've had is 375 ish, I think, that at an event that I've seen personally. I think Battle for the Ring at one point had 6 or 700. I don't remember what year that was. It's just what I remember hearing a while ago. Oh wow, Chaos War breaks 1,000. That is insane. One thing about Chaos Wars I was looking forward to. Okay, two things about Chaos Wars I would look forward to: the chili cook-off and the wizard staff competition. Those are the two things that sold me on the event. I mean, plus lots of people fighting, but those are the two contests that got my interest. So I guess I'm going to call this early. Sorry that this one was so short. I am not sure what I'm going to do for the next stream yet. I tried to announce it about 2 weeks ahead of time. I just announced Ducal Drinks, which is going to be talking about Masterhoods. I have Unum, Heron, and Dat Boy Sploob coming on as guests. So if you can make it for that, it's 2 weeks from today. So the Thursday the 17th at 7 o'clock. I promise it will go longer than this one did. I've already got some questions from Ron, Sir Blade. That's not what he's going to buy anymore. Brynjar, Sir Brynjar. And I'm coming up with my own questions and stuff like that. Yeah, thank you. Sometimes it's a little hard to remember when people change their names, but it's important to do your best to learn their new name because there might be reasons why they don't like their other name that are perfectly valid. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to my small talk, and I hope I will see you on Saturday. It's going to be at 7 o'clock on Saturday, and so I'd like to be able to come by and chat and talk. Um, there's no specific topic that we're talking about. Um, just there to have some fun, chat about Amcard video games or board games or RPGs. Nerd stuff. And if there isn't any last minute questions, I'm gonna sign off after this drink. Oh yeah, I'd love to have you. You're drinking water or whatever. That's fine. Maybe a pop. Just I'd like to have everyone stop by and chat. It'd be great. There's also something else, and I completely forgot. I feel silly. Go with your water. Excellent. I started cutting back on pop too. I was drinking way too much of it. So I try not to bite it anymore, except for when I'm having pizza. Okay, that would work too. I bet. Oh, if anyone has any suggestions for topics for beers with Baelnorn or for dual drinks, although I have a drinking, are you drinking? I would like you to drink Darius on Saturday. You do not have to. I'm not going to force anyone to drink anymore. Not that I ever force, but I was definitely big into peer pressure. A lot less now. A lot less. It comes out every once in a while, though. But yeah, if you have any ideas for beers for Belnorn or any of my articles, I'm always looking for ideas because I'm kind of terrible at coming up with them sometimes. That's why I give myself a lot of time to come up with them. One more drink, and this beer is gone. Then I'll be done. Ooh. See, I plan nothing on Saturday or on Sunday because I don't know how much I'll be drinking on Saturday. It's completely up to the audience how much I'm drinking. Um, I bought a 24 pack of beer just in case, plus 40 ounce of the oldie. I wasn't sure if I should buy two, but I bought one. Should probably be enough. If I go through two, that'd be great. But yeah, I didn't plan anything until Monday for that reason, so I do not envy you. But you'll probably have fun playing Minecraft with your niece in the morning. Hopefully, you won't have a hangover. Apparently, it's two more drinks. I also want some feedback. Do you prefer the style that I have now on the for the layout with the screen, or do you prefer having a smaller video of me with Amcard videos playing in the background? All right. Man, I only drink two beers. You like the old layout with videos? Okay. I might, for next beers with Baelnorn, mess with it, and because I still like having the notifications on the left, so I might have an overlay. I'll work on some overlays. I think it helps keep focus on the topic. You have the Amcor stuff in the background, but during lulls or just bullshitting, the videos are nice. Um, yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll next time I'll go back to the videos and I'll create a new layout that incorporates what I like with having the videos. So yeah, but it will kind of both. I'll do both. All right, so that was 45 minutes. Not terrible. Usually go for about an hour. I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by, and I hope to see you all on Saturday. Have a good night.